I'm Brandy Zidane.
I'm Dave Quanbury.
And we're Twilight Hotel.
And we are hanging out in your very funky apartment here in Winnipeg. How many songs have you guys written in this place? Could you hazard a guess?
Gosh. Hazard a guess, Dave.
I don't know, 10 or 20?
Yeah, not too many as you maybe would think.
Really?
Yeah. We're slow writers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's picked up in the last couple months ever since I got a typewriter.
That's right.
Technology.
Typewriter helps the songwriting process.
Dave has opted to, like when I go out for a night to go see a band, he's opted to stay at home with the Underwood, who I secretly call his other girlfriend.
In your average show, you go on the road, what kind of gear are you dragging along in your car?
We were on the road in Saskatoon, and there was a little parlor guitar in a guitar store there. And I convinced Brandy that she needed it. And so she bought it, and then as soon as she bought it, I usurped it, and it became my main guitar because a friend of mine gave me a Soundhole pickup from the 70s many years ago, and I never did anything with it. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll put it in this parlor guitar, and it'll be like the guitar I do that one mellow song on per set. And then what ended up happening is I ended up doing more and more on the guitar, and people, you know, every show people would say, what's the deal with that guitar? Like, it looks weird, it sounds weird, tell me about it. And the more I played it, the more people wanted it. And now it's the only guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, I leave all my other guitars at home, and I bring this old clunky piece of wood around.
I guess that would make, well, we call the guitar Betty. It's been her name since the beginning, so that's your third girlfriend then. There's the typewriter, and then there's Betty, yes.
Brandy has a thing for, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so this seems like a theme, because I remember doing a show at the Folk Exchange with you guys, and you ran across to Antiques and Funk and bought an old microphone.
That's right.
And were you still using that?
That mic is 100% part of our show.
Yes,
every night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Does it have a name? No name yet?
Well,
the Stratoliner.
It's called the Stratoliner. It's from the 40s, and it just looks like this old rocket piece. It's very deco.
It actually looks like Rocket Man.
Yes, it does.
You know?
Yeah, so that's a huge part of it too.
When you're out traveling, let's say touring around, and you're trying to describe what, if any, the influence of being born and raised here in Winnipeg has had on you as artists, how do you see it? How do you feel it?
I have a friend that recently moved to Winnipeg from Italy, so she brings a lot of perspective onto what she sees in Winnipeg, and she calls Winnipeg the incubator. And you know, you start with some ideas, and you have to keep them warm. But you know, the other side of the coin is the exposure. Strangely enough, I just grew up with a lot of exposure to a lot of different types of things. You know, from Folklorama to the Folk Festival to any of the shows that came through town. It's a pretty world-class city when it comes to entertainment.
How do you describe your sound and your kind of your songs that you guys are writing these days?
Well, we're not really good at describing it. When we talk to someone down in the States about what we do, we say we're roots Americana, and they go, "Oh, okay." It's not folk, but it's not country. There's, you know, and so we go back to the word roots again.
We almost avoid describing ourselves because there's also this whole element of the accordion and the cabaret, which I think directly comes from my Winnipeg Ukrainian heritage somehow.
But yeah, that's not really a genre.
It's not, you know, and so we almost avoid it.
And I mean, when it suits us, like when we're crossing the border and we're talking to the American border guards, we say we're country music.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, country music is, you know, morally in line with the type of people that the border guards want to let in, so we're close enough, you know, that it's not a lie to say we're country.
Yeah,
you know, we're whatever suits us, depends who asks.
So it's whatever border crossing we're at.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the demographic here. You're good at reading the border demographic.
And we can tell the border guards in Amsterdam and going into Holland whatever we want.
Right.
We'll just stamp the passport. I love that. No questions.
Our first day in continental Europe was pretty epic.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We were in England, and we had a little short flight to Amsterdam. So we were getting off the plane, going outside, looking for someone who's looking for us. Then we get in his car. Hi, Bert, Dave, Brandy, great. Get in the car, and we just start driving north. And he drives north and north and north, and then the land ends, and we're on a bridge. And we're still driving north, and then there's water on either side of us for a good hour. And then the land kind of comes back in a sort of gradual swampy way, and then we park the car and we get on a boat. And we keep going north to the Frisian Islands, and we get off at the Frisian Islands, and there's no cars, there's just bikes everywhere. And our first gig was actually on the boat. First gig in Europe.
On the ferry, and they were talking in Frisian, and it was
a radio interview that we'd play songs in between. So they'd go, you know, I'm not going to do an impression because it's probably insulting, but they'd say, Twilight Hotel, and we'd go, oh wait, and then we'd play our song. And meanwhile, you know, we've got sea legs, but it might be jet lag, but it might be just tiredness, and we're not sure what's happening.
That's awesome.
And then we got back in the car and we drove into Germany, and we slept in Germany that day. Just all over the place.
And then you have to try to sum it up in 300 characters on your Twitter.
That's right. Yeah. We don't, you know, we haven't started Twittering yet.
I actually did start.
You did?
It. Yeah.
She doesn't tell me because
I'm the one that takes care of all that stuff, and you know.
I try to get Facebook on my typewriter, and I can't. It just won't load properly. I need a new ribbon.